Hey everyone, it's Hoi4 Fred, it's Fred 298, it's Hoi, it's day by day. Just that, it's just Hoi4 day by day. And of course we're sucking asshole across the front. Shit, went over. I'm now deeply regretting the decision to play day by day because I'm realizing just how painful the wars are gonna be. So yeah, right, okay. Seeing that Romania has almost no army, I'm gonna send my special forces back to Germany. I know that supply doesn't really make a difference in this game, and I know that a lot of people will argue that, but to be completely honest, I've never had supply and I've been just fine. But I'm going to send them back home anyway, because to be fair, someone did mention it, and I'm curious to see how it will stack up, because that's what I currently believe, because I don't see a difference. But the usual factors that stop me from wanting to do it then is not here, because when it comes like to supply, people always say, oh, you should always have high supply. It's like, well, yeah, I do, but I usually find that means having so few men on the front that I can't put up an actual defense, and when the enemy counterattacks me, then I just crumble because I've got no forces on the front. And it's like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time I don't. Because that's what happens. That's just how it always repeats. It always does the same thing. I have enough men for supply, and then my defense crumbles, because I was never meant to be on the defensive. But I can't keep pushing, because I don't have the industry to replace my losses. People forget that logistics exist. Stop it. Like, when you are in a deficit, you can't just shit out another man and then everything's fixed. You have to replace them, and it's difficult. But I'm curious to see what happens there, because that factor of which they can counterattack doesn't apply here. The fact of which they can counterattack doesn't matter. I outnumber them whether I've got supply or not. So I'm going to go ahead and try what people have said and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, I'm not going to do that advice when I'm against the Soviets or the French, because fuck that, mate. Absolutely not. Not doing that. Because that would just be ridiculous. Like, that would genuinely be ridiculous. I mean, France and Russia are the two nations where you just can't, you can't hold anything back. I mean, with France I might do it, actually, because I did have a game one day where I decided I would have supply, and I conquered Belgium and France really quite easily, and then I had no supply, and then I couldn't conquer them. But with Russia, I find that no supply very rarely means you will lose or win. With Russia, what I find is you have two options. You either win or you lose. And there's no in between. You either have one or the other, but you don't have both. You can't go from winning against the Soviets to then losing. And you can't go from losing against the Soviets to then winning. You either win or you lose. And so I find supply there means nothing. You can have as little supply as you want, but if you're going to win, you're going to win. And you're going to have the smallest army in history, and if you're going to lose, you're going to lose. That's just how it is. Like, numbers really don't mean anything. I have lost a game where I had 300 divisions against their 240. I have won a game where I had 36 against their 138. So, yeah, it really doesn't mean anything. I actually remember that game quite vividly. What I was doing was, I was recording, like, you know the Millennium Dawn? I have a video up on my channel which is just the modern day mod and conquering the world as Britain. And for that, I decided I would pretend that I lost World War II as Britain, give us like that incentive to do it again. And I annexed all of Europe with cheats as Britain, declared one the United States and the Soviet Union. And I proceeded to get my arse walloped by the USA, and then the Soviet Union's poured in. I held them around here, right, because I couldn't really hold anything further. And then halfway through, every nation in Europe rose up against both me and the Soviets. So we would have Germany, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Poland, Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Norway, Sweden, Spain, Portugal, Greece, Italy, all fighting us, right? But it'd be like split in half. Half of them would be my faction, and the other half would be the Soviets. And despite the fact that I had 36 divisions, I managed to still conquer the Soviet Union. Not just hurt them, literally destroyed their army, marched in, and I took Moscow, and then they surrendered. And I'm like, excuse me, what the fuck? I had 36 divisions. It was September of 37. It's like, what the fuck happened there? I love Hoi4. I can't chalk that up to me being a good player. I just think it's just because they weren't ready. Because have you seen the equipment deficit of the Soviet Union in 1936? Holy shit. Not as bad as the British though, so...